Oh, okay, I have them there. Just realised I didn't close the door. There we go, little ones. Oof da. Which two should I grab? This one or maybe that one? Yeah. Yeah. Come on in, Drew. Come on in, Palin. How's it going? Hope you do. Gerry, your little clawsies need doing. Can see your little talons. Come on in, Arnhole. How's it going? How is everyone? I feel, morning, Saf. Morning, Hetland. Good morning, Zara. I've had, like, 2 very social days, and now I feel like, bah. It's just like Wednesday warned me the schedule would be. I have scheduled the bah. Sorry, Gerry, I just saw these 2 tufts. They were calling to me. There we go. Morning, Callie. Good morning, Joe and David and Laura. Saffron, thank you very much for the 49 months. I'm working from home and have 2 keyboards right now and almost wrote good morning everyone into a very important, very serious work email. Maybe they'd appreciate it. Morning, Monday. So yeah, after trains on Wednesday. Kai, thank you very much for the 47 months and a tattoo. Waiting for a gas safety inspection people to show up at work, so not doing anything until they're around. That is a very good reason to be watching Banui. Good morning, Fallen. Morning, Dave. Morning, Expelliarmus. I want to come on munch on tea leaves. I don't know. Don't know, truth be told. If tea leaves are suitable. Because I know people sometimes give their bunnies, like, little sippies of tea, but as in, like, you know, just ones that are, like, chamomile is safe and stuff like that, if it's just the pure thing with nothing else involved. But yeah, I don't know about tea. Morning, Max. Let's ask them, they might know. True. Morning, Kate. Good morning, Lucy. But yeah, so after the stream on Wednesday, I went out for dinner with like a few of the devs who have games for Yogscast Games being published. Those words in a different order. Which is very nice. I went to a place I'd never been before, ate food I had never eaten before. So that was an exciting adventure. Good morning, Rob. I have an interesting happenstance at work. Someone submitted an FOI asking for how much you've been communicating with the... Wait. The Diocese of Norwich about exorcisms in our hospital? Huh? Is there... Is there reason for this? Are there suspicions? Was it from a ghost who was like, just checking in if this place is this still safe for me to chill out here? But we went to a place called, is it 7 Lucky Gods? It's like upstairs at Wapping Wharf, if people know Bristol. Good morning, Lazy Bar. I most likely fall asleep during the stream. Me too, don't worry. We got each other covered. Good morning, Boba. But yeah, oh no, good morning, Napoleon. Nice chill stream. Yeah, too chill. I'm EP. I'm just gonna fall asleep. Let the bunnies take over. Okay. I think you're finished with your last ones. So here's one final one for you. Here's one final one for you. Everybody gets even. Good morning, pizza. Twonk, good morning. Thank you very much for the 55 months. Somebody led me to believe there might be some Banouis up in here. Well, I can neither confirm nor deny. No comment. Gerry, do you have any comment as to whether there might be Banouis here? He doesn't want to talk about it, sees. He's shocked. Morning, Limewood. So yeah, we went to Seven Lucky Gods, and it was basically like just like keep bringing dishes to the table until we say stop scenario. And I had sat with like, which I guess we naturally gravitated. I was sat with our other vegan friend, one of the devs, and we so we just brought things that were just like, these are all the vegan dishes. So we just got like our own little buffet, and it was really lovely. Because yeah, it was all like, what sort of food do they serve? I don't know what sort of food it was, as in to categorize, but it was things like they had this like really tasty seaweed sesame salad. They had fried oyster mushrooms and this like, oh, actually I think it might be fusion, because I remember there being like some Korean barbecue stuff. But yeah, I didn't have any of that. There was some like spicy cauliflower that was very tasty, but it wasn't Korean barbecue. What else did I have? What else? Whatever it was all very tasty. There was some like aubergine with daikon slices on top. That was very tasty. It was very tasty. Looking at the menu, it looks great. Yeah, it was very good, and it was just nice to get to, I guess being in a larger group meant being able to try a lot of things as well. Oh, there was one bit of sushi as well that we had. I think there's one vegan sushi on the menu, and that was very nice. And I'm not really a sushi person usually, but I love seaweed salad. You know, I keep on thinking about the seaweed salad. It was so tasty. Yeah, it was my first time going. Rob, it was Seven Lucky Gods upstairs in Wapping Wharf, which I don't know if you would have gone to very much, that sort of area. It's where V-Burger is, and you normally go to Ooey, so I don't know if you would have, I don't know if you would have seen it. But yeah, so that was like Wednesdays. And then we went to Kong's afterwards, so there was like more socializing. And then yesterday, the reason I wasn't doing a Banui stream was because I went out and met the devs and Yogg's Games again, went for like a little lunch, and then got shown like a little play test of some of the games as well. So that was very lovely. And then went to the pub after the streams as well. So it was just a full day of socializing, which it was a very lovely day, but I am a very antisocial person. So after like, oh, there's a little spider. Oh, that's so quick. I would show them, but I know a few people aren't very keen on spiders. But they're just zooming across the carpet. Yeah, I just, by like 1 p.m, I was just sort of tuning out and just like wanting to, I was like, I need to go into a quiet room and read a book for a bit. But I stayed out until like 9 p.m, which I know is the beginning of a night for some people, but for me, I was like, I need to leave now. I need to go. Yeah, I'm about 5 hours past my go home time. So yeah, but it was very lovely. Everyone was very nice, and seeing the games was very nice as well. And then watching, like, being around for Royal Rick being launched and stuff was very exciting too. And I got to talk to Lewis about, I was like, Lewis, do you play Super Loco World? Because I could use some advice on it. And he immediately grabbed a notebook and a pen and he was like, what you want to do? Right, I figured it out. What you want to do? You want to do this? You want your signals here, here, and here. You want these trains here. And I was just like, okay, thank you. So, and he was like, if ever you need to just call me up for consultancy, just do it. I'll give you more advice. It's fine. And I actually got really proud because I told him about my warehouse system and he actually like did a double take and he was like, that's really smart. I was like, oh, I was like, the train man is impressed with my trains. I must have done something right. So yeah, I have an idea of what I need to do for my next Super Loco, like how to do it for the next one, as long as the information stays in my head. I think it do make sense. This might be a ticket to open TTD on Jingle Jam. I don't know if I'll go that far. But yeah. But then I had a dream last night that really confused me. I had a dream that I was playing Blood on the Clock Tower. But I think because I was watching the Rithian and Nalsy streams before I went to bed. And I had a dream that we did a Blood on the Clock Tower, but Rithian and Nalsy were playing, but we were never allowed to talk to them. And then in the end, it only happened for like one day. And we never had a town hall meeting. And then the game was just sort of over, and I can't remember why. But I remember like trying to get everyone's attention and being like, this won't make a good video because no one ever talked to each other because there was no nominations and no discussion or anything. And I kept on wanting to like message Rithian and Kirsty and be like, do you think this is going to be okay? I don't think this recording's okay. Because we never talked. And it was just one of those dreams where like something kept, I think I was like coming into consciousness enough that I was aware that it was a dream. So I wasn't messaging them, but then I would keep thinking like, I should message them though. And yeah, it was like a confusing one. This mark on this chair looks a bit like a sausage dog. Like there's the head and the nose, and then there's the front feet, there's the back feet, there's a little tail, there's a long body. I would turn the thing sideways, but sorry, I was sort of half distracted by looking at the sausage dog whilst I was talking. Have you done any big projects recently? What, as in like, could that be a reflection of could Blood on the Clock Tower stand for something else in the dream? I can't think of anything it relates to. I mean, I was actually, no, thinking about it, I was talking to Bobar yesterday, and saying that I've never come out of a recording, and I was saying like, because we did a recording on Wednesday morning together, and I was saying I feel like I was too quiet in it. And I was like, but to be fair, I'll either come out of recordings being like, I was too quiet, or I talked too much, I was too loud and obnoxious. I never... That looks a bit like Hollow Knight. Look. It's like, just stood there. There's his little head. There's his little pointy bits. Like, I'll never be like, I spoke the exact perfect amount in that recording. It's always like... always the wrong. So I think it's just a natural thing to either be like, I'm too quiet, there's too much. Snuff. Gerry, why don't you come down here and have cuddles? I would like that. But I also appreciate if you're not in a cuddly mood today. I respect how you're feeling, baby boy. You want to push him blanket. If you fall over down there, I cannot stop it. Although I think the chair leg will stop it, so I think you'll be okay. If you dig too deep and too greedily. Gerry! Why don't you come down here, baby boy, and then I can give you a smoosh. You have a little schmutz on your face. There we go. There we go. You look so offended by the suddenness of the cuddles. Sorry, baby boy. Look at you. Look at you. I got you, baby boy. Any Bristolians seen the balloons this weekend? I would like to, but I guess I'm in the office on Sunday. Well, so am I in the office early? I am, aren't I? I'm 11 till 2 on the Twitch.tv schedule. Morning, Vio. So I might see a couple of them in town. You got fluff in your mouth. Oh, I don't want to pinch your mouth. I'm sorry. But I don't think I've got any plans on Saturday. So I might be able to get up early and peep some ballons. I like your totally correct identification of a quaint Cotswold village. I don't remember what happened in that episode of GeoGuessr that just got released. I remember that so it won't be, I don't know how many they've recorded since then, but I don't think it'll be this one or the next one or the one after that, but I have a feeling that I will be accused of cheating at some point. Maybe I won't be, but I basically knew where something was where no one else did. And because everyone was talking, I never got to explain why I knew. And I'm just like, oh, is it, if you just see me quietly putting a pin down and no one else getting it, does it just look dodgy? Because basically, they just happened to, see, I was umming and ahhing about whether this was spoilers or not, but I guess it's not. But I knew where a sort of like maybe not that heard of place was, because they just happened to have had one of the they went through it on the episode of Race Across the World I had literally just seen. And in Race Across the World, they are really good at like constantly showing you where everything is on a map. So I was just like, hang on, I actually know this place that people probably don't know where this is. I got really lucky that I just happened to go down the street, turn around. There was a shop there that along the top of the shop, it just had the shop's full address. So I was just like, oh, it's in that town. And I was like, I know it's like somewhere down this bit. But yeah, I just got lucky. And then like no one really commented on it and we moved on. So I was just like, okay, that just looks really suspicious now. So yeah, I had that thing where I don't know how many people get this, but I had that thing where you know when you don't say something and then your brain is like, I should say something now. I should say something now. Now it's too late to say something, but I should say something. And then that was all I could think about for like the next 10 minutes of the recording was like, is it too late to say something now? Emma, thank you very much for the 38 months. Friday, bonne nuit, bonana. The very same. But I think I make up for it with just terrible guesses everywhere else. So having one where I occasionally actually vaguely know where something is. Do you know what? Race Across the World has actually been amazing for teaching me where places vaguely are. because I'm really bad at geography, and I'm really bad at recognizing like languages as well. For some reason, I can't tell the difference between Italian and Spanish. They just look the same to me, so that doesn't help. And yeah, when you get, I guess when you get places that have different alphabets, it can put you in vaguely the right place of the world. It's all in the hands, precisely, in a written sign. I can't see the Italian hand gestures, so how am I meant to read it? Race Across the World is like a BBC TV show. It's had 5 series. And the premise of it is that it's 5 teams of 2, or so there is, one team does get eliminated. 5 teams of 2 are given, so they'll be told vaguely, like, you are going from London to Singapore, and they will have like checkpoints along the way that they have to reach, but they have to do it for their budget is the same cost as the flights to get there, but they're not allowed to fly, and they will have to like work as they go along, but it all has to be like land and boat travel. And sometimes the checkpoints are really out the way for where they're actually going. But yeah, it makes for good geographical knowledge and I've tried to like absorb all of it. Sounds like it'd be really fun to take part in. Yeah, it's always a bit sad when the people don't enjoy it, because I'm like, you've been given such an amazing opportunity. Like in the first series, there's this teenager who's just a bit like, I mean, they're a teenager, so they just do what teenagers do. And they get a bit like, oh, I don't want to be here. And I'm just like, you've been given this great opportunity. You're getting to go to so many different countries and you're just complaining all the time. But yeah, it is really good. And it does help sometimes, because when I think like, oh, where is that? And then I'll be like, wait, which series of Race Across the World did they go here? Like the second series is... So yeah, the first series I think is... I've not got to the end of it because I've been watching the series in reverse order. But the first one is London. They go through... I think the first checkpoint is Delphi. Was it Delphi? Yeah, I think the first checkpoint was Delphi. And then the second series was South America. So where did they start? They started in Mexico City. And they ended up... I've forgotten the name of the place. But it's just like... It's at the very bottom of Chile. And then the third series was just Canada. They literally just travelled coast to coast from the west to the east of Canada. They ended up in Newfoundland, I think. And then the fourth series was... I want to say they started in Japan. But maybe that was the fifth series. I've sort of forgotten which way round the fourth and the fifth series were. There was one where they start... No, I think the fifth series was across China and India, maybe? And then in the fourth series, they weren't allowed to go through China. I can't remember. They were both in quite similar parts of the world, but they're both very good. But I think the fourth series, they went through Japan and Korea first. But yeah, they're all very good. Getting an English-speaking country would be such a difference maker. Yeah, so with the Canada one, it's very interesting because obviously, apart from when they're in like the French-speaking parts, they didn't have the sort of language barrier that they get in every other series, but they did have the barrier of there just wasn't public transport. So they mostly had to rely on like hitchhiking and car shares and like talking to truckers at petrol stations and saying, are you going this way? And stuff like that. So it became a lot more like, with the Canada one, you met the locals a lot more, which was nice. Whereas otherwise, like a lot of the other series are just like, they get a no. They just get a night bus from, like, there was one where it was in the South America one where they literally just got a night bus and skipped an entire country because they were just like, we just need to get from here to here. And it's like, oh, you didn't actually see any of it. But then there's always going to be other teams that are going different ways and doing it differently. So you do sort of get to see a lot of places, which is nice. I should pitch it to Lewis. I was trying to pitch Lewis something yesterday and he wasn't having any of it. So I don't think I would have any luck. But I was talking to Becky and Ozzy about cruises, like my experience. I can't remember how we got onto cruises. Oh, baby schnuffs. And then I was saying how like the No Rolls Barred guys are having a cruise in the Caribbean. They're having like this big fancy cruise. And then I was like, we should do a Yogscast cruise. Apart from it's just the ferry over to the Isle of Wight. And he said it sounded awful, but in much ruder words. Whereas I thought it would be great. He was like, what are you saying to me? Are you saying that we should, like, we just buy you tickets to the Isle of Wight? And I'm like, no, people would buy tickets to meet us. And he was just like, the Yogscast aren't entertainers. Nobody would want to be on that cruise. And we were like, what? Like, but we're not entertaining. So yeah. So it didn't go down very well as a suggestion, sadly. Oh, Gerry Snuffingtons. Then the conversation moved on somewhat. We had a long conversation about orgies. Maybe this is why Lewis doesn't take us seriously. But yeah, cruises do suck for the environment. I did not know that when I went on cruises before. I wouldn't do one now. But yeah, I've been on 2 before. And you do get some that are, you know, quote unquote better or worse than others. But yes. Let's go to the Isle of Wight. We were also talking about, we were like, what if we just did it on the Matthew? That's like, because they do the chips trip, the chips trip that goes down to, you start in the harbour and then it just poodles you down the harbour side and then you get chips and get them back. They were all terrible because they use the lowest quality fuel in international waters. No, you do. There are some that are like specifically geared towards being better, but it does mean that they cost extortionate amount, which you just, yeah, I could never afford. That's for sure. But you get ones that are like on much smaller boats and do things to be, they take steps to be a lot more environmentally friendly, but it does come at a cost. Like starting at 3,500 euros for the cheapest per person room is big money. But yes. Oh, Fifi, good scrimch. He's determined to be like down that side of the table. Doesn't want to socialise today. Which is strange, because usually when I've been out all day, he's the smushiest boy. He just wants, he just wants cuddles when he's been abandoned. Go cash in on people who want to be good for the environment. Well, it's because there's a company that do vegan cruises. So obviously it's a big focus on having... There is no point on saying you're an environmental company doing environmental things and then having milk and dairy and meat and stuff. Because that is a bit hypocritical. But can we all pitch in for an aircraft carrier? Whose aircraft would we be accepting on board? I know a guy, of course you do. This is like your combination of interests. Plane plus boat. I've done the chips trip on the Matthew in Bristol Centre, and it is very lovely. And whilst you eat your chips, you get taught about the history of the Matthew and stuff, and it's a very gentle one. Morning, Tom. You do get other ones. I think you get more boozy ones, like little boozy ferries, but I wanted the nice, quiet one. See the big Spanish galleon? I didn't see it in person, but I saw a lot of photos of people visiting. I didn't go down to the Harbour Festival at all. What was I doing? I think I just wanted to be inside. I don't remember doing anything in particular. I think I was just like, no, I'm not gonna go. Or was it? Because I wanted to see Longest John's, but I think I'd been busy the day before and I was just like, oh, I've run out of spoons. Hello, Be Real. Why are you going off now? Ba, 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 ba. Oh, the giant deforestation machine from Thunderbirds. Could we get that? Why are you all intent on deforestation? Stop it. Behave yourselves. Ba, 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 ba. Ba, 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 ba. I mean, if you want deforestation, just keep on eating meat. That's doing it. That's ruining the planet. Oh, as much as it is lovely to, be good with switching your lights off, it's not making a blind bit of difference if you're not voting with your money in the first place. Lewis might be more interested in maximum cruelty pitches. That's true. That is true. Some sort of McDonald's catered cruise. Full power. But no. I can't see it happening anytime soon anyway. He was not interested in the cruise pitch. I have a loose hair that is going up my sleeve and it keeps tickling me at random intervals. I can't pull it out. Did I get it? Did I get it? I got it. I got it. Teehee. Yeah, no YogCon happening again, either on land or on sea. But I was saying, like, Jericho does one. Like, the wrestler Jericho does, like, a wrestling cruise where people get to go and... I assume they watch wrestlers, or they just watch Fozzy perform every night. Now you've told us that we can get the combined force of bun cord, Becky cord, and fish cord to harass Lewis on Reddit about it. No! Don't do that! It was, yeah, it's just, I can't even remember the combination of conversations that turned into that. Talking of Lewis, what was it like meeting Lewis for the first time? All I remember is that he hugged me. He seemed perfectly lovely. I don't really remember. It was about like 12 years ago now, I think. 11 or 12 years ago. Good morning, Ffion. Yeah, it was a very long time ago. I can't even remember. Like, it was just, all it was that we went to the old office. And we met him. And it was just like a little meeting that was to just get a feel for the office and see, because Alex was being taken on full-time from freelance sort of thing. So, yeah, I think it was just to go on vibes, and he was just like, yeah, they seem lovely. That was it. But I think I was mostly stressed because we were also... So this was like the first week of December, and Alex was starting on like the 6th of January that year, and we had until then to have found a flat, sorted it out, and moved to Bristol. So that was like the first week of December, and we moved to Bristol on the 4th of January. So that was like the turnaround that we had to do. So I think I was mostly just thinking about that because I wasn't working there. So I was just sort of like trying to think like, yeah, we need to get to this flat and this flat to view them before we leave Bristol, because we weren't even like coming from the same place. I had to get back to Hertfordshire and Alex had to get back to Worcestershire. So it was a bit of a... I think we viewed flats in Bristol like twice. There were like 2 days that we viewed stuff and then just had to pick one of them. And we picked one, put a deposit down, got scammed by the landlord, and had to find another place. And we still managed to move in at the beginning of January. So it was, yeah, it was a time. It was the time of time. It was the times of time. I started making vegan donuts for air frying, but noticed partway that I'm out of pure wheat flour, so I had to use rye wheat mix. I mean, you get like rye sourdough, right? It should be, I imagine they'd be very lovely. Send some to Bristol, thank you. Thank you. It was basically like, so I remember we put down, I don't know how much it was, but then the landlord was like, I've done checks on you, and it turns out that Alex isn't registered to vote, so we can't accept, and it's non-refundable. So we can't give you this back. And Alex was like, I've literally voted. Like, I've been registered for years and have voted many times. And they were like, sorry, we can't double check it. We just have to take the money now and no refunds. And we were just like, what? But because of the short time that we had, and it was coming up to Christmas and everything, we just had to sort of, yeah, just be like, right, find another place. And it sort of worked out because the place that we were trying to go for was actually awful. It was over in St. Paul's. I can't remember the name of the square, but it was like not a good vibe over there. And then we ended up living in Totterdown, which I much preferred. and the price of the rent was locked. A couple of months after we moved in, the landlord died, so we never had any problems with him. And yeah, it was a really nice flat. Just like super cheap. So yeah, it sort of worked out for the best. Which just goes to show that just when you think things are like bad, you never know what's around the corner. You know? We had that lovely flat for years and years and years, and it was... It's where we got Jenna Bun. When did you move? We moved 7 years ago. But we still miss Totterdown. Did you never have any problems because you weekend at Bernie's them? I never met the landlord. Alex met him once, I think. I must have been... When we first moved to Bristol, I still worked in Hertfordshire. So I would spend... I remember there was one time that I calculated I had spent 15 hours in Bristol in a month because I was just having to, like... I would come back and I would sleep for one night over a weekend and then I would go back to work. So I didn't really, like... That's why I ended up, like, cutting down on film and TV work a lot because I was like, I'm just travelling and I'm not actually really properly living in Bristol. And yeah, it was back when I was still like pretty much doing full time for the BBC. So I could go down. I mean, I think there must have been some weekends that I didn't actually... Well, sometimes we would also work weekends. So yeah. Yeah, we got Jenna Bun in the flat and Gerry. Gerry lived in the flat with us for a bit and then we wanted to move into a house so that they had more space and so that we had more space and just generally weren't, you know, paying someone else's mortgage, just paying our own mortgage. And the bunnies were a lot happier when they moved here. Because like a lot of the time, if you move somewhere new, you get problems with like it can throw bunnies' bonds out because they're in a new environment. They can, if a bunny is submissive, they can sometimes see that as a chance to seize the throne, so to speak. But the bunnies never really got along very well in the flat, but as soon as they moved into this house, they sorted things out again and they were a lot happier together, a lot more bonded. No, they were never as bonded as Gerry and Fifi. Gerry and Fifi are very smushy with each other, whereas Jenna Bun and Gerry never really had that. But yeah, they were definitely a lot happier. I moved into a place once on my first night in the kitchen. I saw a door that goes downstairs into a separate section. Turns out the landlord lives there and he never said he lives in another section of the house. Oh my gosh. Oh no. Totterdown was very lovely though. Like, I do miss it. It's very, like, community. Like, it felt like a little village inside of a city. And I do miss those sort of vibes. Although a lot of the stuff that I used to like there is closed down now. So I don't know if it's changed at all. But we were priced out of Totterdown when we wanted to buy. We were lucky. Like, people who live in Bristol, you will not believe this, but our rent in that flat, it was like a 2-bedroom flat that was absolutely gorgeous. And our monthly rent was $645. Imagine paying that in Bristol now. You wouldn't even pay that for a garage. And it was just locked. So that was up until 7 years ago. And then when we moved out, they added on like over £200, I think. And I imagine it's gone up even more now. So yeah, we were very lucky with with that place. Because it was basically like, it got... What is rent in Bristol now? I mean, I imagine it would start at least 1,000, if not like 1,200. I know people who are paying more than that to be in the centre, though. It is madness, the rental prices. I pay 900, but other flats in my building are 1,000. Yeah, it's I guess my knowledge of it is quite skewed because I don't, like most people I know who do rent in the centre. Xander, thank you very much for the 20 months. 20 years! 20 years! But yeah, Totterdown is sort of near Bedminster, so it's like when you go from town up Wells Road, where, is it Wells Road and Bath Road? It's like where they split off. That's the beginning of Totterdown, I think. But it is like the other side of Victoria Park to Bedminster. And it's lovely. But all of the houses that we could afford, well, we could only afford like flats in that area. And all of the houses were like the typical Bristolian, like long Victorian ones where you don't actually get, like, they look pretty on the outside, but you don't actually get much bang for your buck sort of thing. It's, yeah. And you get some lovely ones up Wells Road, but they're like ridiculous prices that we just don't ever stand a chance of affording. We're in Clifton, so probably could have got the same for cheaper elsewhere. Clifton's lovely, though. I was looking yesterday at the Morning Chronicle. I was looking at the, what do you call it? The Clifton Waterstones book club. Because I was sort of tempted to try and join it. Because Becky was saying that she went once and they were all really lovely. I was like, that could be nice. And also, round the corner from Waterstones, Clifton, is East Village Cafe, which is a really lovely cafe. So it would just be an excuse to go there and then talk about books. And that just sounds like a nice day out. Conflicts with the Scout. Oh, you used to go. Ah. I think Fifi is just kicking Gerry up the bum. Look at these two. Look how snuggly they are, though. But I was thinking, yeah, I could give it a go. Because Haunted Bookshop also have a book club. But it's really difficult to get into because it's really popular. And there was a time that you could handle that by getting the nana out. I could, it's true. All of this piece will be ruined the second I reach up for that banana. Yeah, Haunted Bookshop, their one, I got put on like the waiting list once and it was about 30 people deep. And then obviously on the day, one person dropped out and it started going through all the backup list. But because I was so like deep down, I hadn't read the book. And I guess a lot of other people were like that too. And it just kept on getting passed down of like, in an hour, there's a book club for a book you've not read. So I was just like, pass it on to the next person. So maybe next time if I sign up to be on the waiting list, I'll actually read the book. So if I do get called up, I can go. But they're also hosting an event at the Haunted Bookshop that's basically just like make friends. And you have to pay £15. It's just like, because they do singles nights, but this is just like, just friend making night, pay £15, maybe make a friend. I was like, I quite would like to meet, fellow sort of similar vibes people in Bristol, but I don't want to pay £15 to do it. Oh, just make sure every book club is reading the same book. That's true. All of the books are going to suspiciously align with the Haunted Bookshop ones. Be like, we've read a lot of horror books recently. This is a strange change for the book club. It's like, don't question it. Stand outside and accost people as it ends. I'm gonna get my friends for free. Dear oh dear. But yes, make sure to upgrade to the premium for the chance for 2 friends. That's too many. There's a couple of singles nights that I've seen. It feels weird to pay like £20 for a glass of wine and maybe making a friend. Yeah, it's like I mean, they do singles nights. Do at the bookshop, but I think that sounds quite sweet. Like, obviously not for me, but I think the idea of like finding someone at a like meeting at a bookshop is quite cute. I've tried to encourage some of my single friends to go to I'm like, let me live vicariously through you as an old married woman. Go and do a meet cute at a bookshop because it's cute. But they've all so far refused. They've all refused. But the haunted bookshop is really small as well, so I think it sort of spilled outside. Just go anyway. I'm not single. I just wanted to hang out. It was cheaper than the friend night, so I just wanted to come along and just make a friend. Is that in Clifton? No. So it's down near the bottom of Stokescroft. I went there for the first time the other day, and we went to Kucha for lunch, and then we walked all the way down Gloucester Road, Cheltenham Road, and Stokescroft to get there. It was very cute, and they do tarot readings there, and tea leaf readings. You get a cup of tea with that one. That's quite exciting. Fifi, did you just have oh no, I thought she had hiccups for a second then. What was else? What else do they do? They do various other things that seem very nice. Speaking of tarot, this is a spurious connection. I was looking again at maybe going to Menier's Fate because I was talking to someone in the office about it yesterday who has been, not a Yogs, but like a friend of. And Gerry is really tucked in. I don't think Fifi was purposefully tucking him in when she was digging at the blanket, but but it worked. He's a cozy little guy now. But yeah, I was looking at Menier's Fate again because I wanted to do it before. I wanted to go to the first one, but I just sort of ran out of time. Whereas there's one in September at a made-up sounding place that I thought was a typo when they first said where the location was, but apparently it is real. But I was thinking like, oh, should I go? Should I finally brave it? It just feels like with LARP, there's a lot of startup costs, you know? There's like, and I know that people like Menier's have been very adamant that if someone doesn't have, you know, the most tip-top like costume and equipment and blah blah blah, not to be like, you're ruining my immersion or anything. They're just saying like, obviously everyone is coming in at different entry levels, so just be kind, which is nice. But you can always crash at Kirsty's flat. Well, the one in September is near Birmingham, so it's over this side of the country. Not, I think the one in August is the last one that's over in Hertfordshire. So there will be no crashing at Kirsty's flat for that one. But yeah, it's more just like costume costs. But to be honest, the costume, like the vibes of the costumes are things like I was just crashing Kirsty's flat anyway and just have like a 2-hour commute. Where by Birmingham? It's like, oh, is it Walton over Lizard or something? It's got Lizard in there. There's an announcement in the Men Is Fate Discord about it. It's something that begins with W, then a middle word, and then Lizard. And because of how my brain works, I just remember the Lizard part. Whoa, Lizard is the location. But they've put it on Google Maps. Apparently it's where another LARP is, but I can't remember the name of that either, so that's not the most helpful information. I think it begins with a C, though. I can't remember. The thing I found most difficult for medieval being clothing was the shoes. Well, I think with LARP, with what am I trying to say? Men Is Fate. They have said that footwear, that's the what humans call it. Footwear can be like, it doesn't have to be in character. They're like, we prioritize sensible, safe footwear that is protective and also okay for the environment over being in character footwear. So you can just wear like, your boots, because if you're going to be in a big muddy field, just wear your sensible shoe wear. Mine in Red Robins. And I guess, like, if someone is in mostly, accurate attire, having different boots on isn't going to be, it's going to be fine. But yes, I was just looking at whether to go or not, whether I've got enough time. And where I've got enough time to like get everything together to go. Because you can just rent tents there as well. So that bit is fine. They just like set up your tent for you and you don't have to worry about lugging that along if you're not someone with a car. Men Is Fate would be a good one to test the water, especially if Mark's going and the hats are helping to organise. Yeah, it just seems like I get the feeling that a lot of ones like Empire, who have been around for a while, can be a bit harder to break the surface of, sort of thing. Because I guess, people have already set up their factions and their hierarchies and their, like, you don't do this and you must do this and blah, blah, blah. Whereas I think Menace is still fresh enough that that sort of thing hasn't really set in. Anyway, the link was, I was talking to the friend who has gone to it before, and he was saying, like, people will do various things to make money. Like, some people will have, like, there was someone who had set up a tea shop, and because they only had, like, a gas stove, they were, like, boiling the kettle behind their tent and then bringing the kettle round, like, tea for everyone, sort of thing. And I was saying it could be a nice opportunity to practice tarot. Even if it wasn't for money or anything, just have, like, set up a little tent with do a little tarot in there. And it might be that people are like, I will give you coin, or people might be like, I will give you this cool rock I found. And stuff like that. I was like, that could be nice. But yeah, trying not to use it as an excuse to buy my third tarot deck, which I very much would like to buy because I've got my eyes set on it at the moment, but I'm trying to just stick to the two I have. But it is so pretty though. I do really want it, but I won't. Any shinies? Are they all different? Yeah, so they all have different artwork on. I mean, it all have the same, like, basic cards in, but the artwork is, like, very different. How does tarot work? I mean, it sort of like depends how you're, like, what sort of questions you're asking. You're not really meant to do. It's 11. Where's Nana? They can have the banana. Fifi knows. Gerry, he doesn't want to get up. He's cozy. Look how cozy this baby boy is. Okay, Fifi, you can have yours. Gerry, you can have breakfast in bed. There you go. I've just been leaning over Fifi this whole time. There we go, Gerry. You can go back to Honkshu Mimi now. But yeah, it is very much just like the usual pull will be like 3 cards, and you just sort of divine meaning from them. And it's like, depending on, it might be that you're asking for guidance for something or answers for something. You're not generally, as far as I know, meant to do a tarot reading if you have a very specific question. It's more meant to be like guidance and vibes, rather than it being like, should I bet on this horse? It's not for that sort of stuff. It's like for it's just like a gentle nudge if you need a bit of steering sort of thing. But yeah, Fifi, no, taking him's blankie. No. She untuck he. Better not tuck him in again though, because Anhu will say that he's mollycoddled. This poor baby boy has to just stay out in the cold now, because otherwise Anhu will be mean to him. Rydia wouldn't be standing for it. He's just a baby boy. Oh, maybe she tuck him back in. Oh, nature is healing. David, I'll have you know that Gerry does know ABC, because ABC stands for a blanket cozy. And he knows that blanket cozy. A banana, cool. Oh, Fifi. Look on her face of like, I tucked him in again. Are you happy now? Oh, they're both so cozy. Why are you so snoozy today? Why are you so snoozy? Well, I guess that's me done. I said that so close together. For a second, I thought I had interrupted myself. Oh, but yes, I guess I shall head off. I will be on the Yogscast channel 2 till 5 with Kirsty and Rydian for Tiny Teams games. We can read Yogs today. Oh yeah, of course we can. course we can. But I hope you all have lovely days, whatever you get up to. I'll hopefully see some of you in chat, but if not, have fabulous weekends. And Gerry, do you have something to say? No, I thought he had something to add, but he was just muttering. Well, everyone, be good, and I shall speak to you all soon. Bye bye for now. Bye bye. Bye 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 bye.